We'll have to give presentations at different points in our career. It can be an internal presentation that we give to our coworkers, or it can be a presentation that we give to our clients. Being anxious when giving a presentation can make you under-deliver the message and also can diminish your credibility in front of the audience, no matter how expert you are in that field. In this video, I'll be sharing 5 tips that will help you present with more confidence and increase engagement. Now, the first one is knowing your audience. And when I say knowing your audience, I'm referring to know their level of expertise and what they are looking to get out from the presentation. If you are trying to present something that they are not interested in, it's more likely for you to lose their attention. There are 2 ways you can do in order to learn more about your audience. The easiest one is to try to collect insights from your coworkers or other people that already worked with your audience. Now, the second one that requires a little bit more work is to ask directly the people that are gonna join the presentation. You can ask them what they are interested to know about, if there are some areas that they would like you to focus on, and you can do it either sending an email and asking them to reply back to you, or sending a survey and ask them to fill it out before the presentation. This way you will be able to adjust your presentation and make the content to be appealing to them. Even if it requires more work to do, it is very important to know your audience because this way you avoid confusion. If there are people in the audience that need to take some decisions based on the information that you present, if you confuse them, you will make their job more difficult. To share an example of mine, my role in the company, it is a technical one. Whenever I had to do a presentation to people that are not technical, I had to adjust my presentation in such a way that I can talk their language. I remember myself that I was giving at the beginning too many technical details and people could not follow me because this was not their area of expertise. They are not interested to know how certain things are implemented. What they are looking for is to know what the solution will solve for them and how they will be able to use that one. Now, the next tip is to use bullet points in your presentation. If you do a PowerPoint presentation, it's very important to use bullet points and try to avoid as much as possible having a lot of text on the screen. If you add a lot of text on the screen, people will tend to read that text and they will not listen to you anymore. This is why the bullet points practically represent the key points that you are about to talk about. Now, it is up to you if you want to provide a summary about each bullet point or you can just read them and then take one at a time. To give you an example, this is the agenda for this video and I'll be talking about each bullet point, but I'll not be sharing the entire text or the entire script with you. If instead of sharing these bullet points with you, I will have shared this slide with you, it's more likely for you to start reading what is written on that slide and to not listen to me anymore. This is a very valuable tip because you want to keep people attention to you and not to the slides. If you want to make sure that you do not forget the content, you can use the notes section and then when you share your screen, you make sure that you do not display that one to your audience. This way the audience see a clear version of your slides while you can also rely on your notes. Also, another benefit of using bullet points instead of adding a lot of text is that people will not remember everything that you talked about in that presentation. And bullet points play a very important role where you want to highlight the most important information from your presentation. Now, the next tip that I have for you is to highlight the result that people will get by listening to your presentation. It is more likely for people to listen and pay attention to your presentation more if they know what the outcome is and how it's beneficial for them. Depends on the subject, the outcome can be different. It can be the outcome of a project, saving more time, having more energy, maybe get a promotion, and so on. Also make sure that the outcome is measurable and it's actionable. So people know when they reach the outcome and what action they have to take in order to reach that outcome. Let's say that you have to do a presentation teaching people how to do a presentation. If you don't highlight the outcome and you jump directly into presenting, it's more likely to lose the focus of the audience. Instead, if you start with the outcome and say, if you know how to make a presentation, you'll save more time, you'll create opportunities for you in your career, and you'll present with more confidence, then it's more likely for people to listen to you because they can see themselves being more confident while presenting and having more time or energy while preparing the presentation. Now, the next tip that I have to you is to allow people to contribute to your presentation. People will feel more fulfilled and engaged if they know that they are able to bring any value to your presentation. There are certain ways you can do that. Either you ask a question and then you ask them to answer that question and you have a one-on-one interaction with them. Or you can set different Q&A sections where you allow people to ask questions. If you are more confident about the subject that you are presenting, you can also allow people to interrupt you at any point in time. By allowing your audience to interact with your content, you practically push them to active learning. The last tip that that I have for you is to not confuse. Try to use simple words that everyone in the audience understand them. From my own experience, I've seen so many times people trying to be too professional and people were not able to understand or follow them during the presentation. If you keep your presentation simple, it's more likely for people to understand your content and also to make easier decisions. You also avoid the need of having a follow-up meeting to continue the discussion of the topic or spend more time answering questions that they might have at the end of the presentation. One thing that I'd like you to remember is that people are looking to have their problem solved. If you are worried that you have to present to stakeholders and you need to behave in certain way, I'd like you to change that mindset, and the only focus to have during the presentation is to make sure that you answer their questions and solve their problem. From my own experience, making these little shifts helped me to create stronger relationships with people that I worked with. We are almost at the end of this video where I discussed about 5 tips to apply in order to present with more confidence. The first one is to know your audience and to adjust the presentation based on their needs and expertise. The second one was using bullet points, which practically will help you to get more engagement from the audience and people to listen to you instead of reading the information from the slides. Now the next one was to highlight the results. People want to know why they should listen to you, and by highlighting the results, you make them to be more engaged. Now, the next tip that I have to you is to allow people to contribute to your presentation. People will feel more fulfilled and engaged if they know that they are able to bring any value to your presentation. And the last one was simplify to connect. If you confuse, you lose. Avoid the confusion and help the audience to make easier decisions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you got some value from it. Let me know in the comments down below what stood out for you the most and what would you like to see next. All the best, and I'll see you in the next video.